The texts 42 and 43. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavadarata pardha nanyad astiti vadinaha kamatmanaha swargapara janma karma falapradam kriya visesha bahulam bhogaishvarya gatim prati. So from 39th verse onwards, the section of the chapter is called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga has been explained to be same as Bhakti Yoga, as confirmed in 10.10 verse. And text 40 covered the glory of Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, that even if you do a little bit, it will be with you for eternal. And text 41 said that in order to become focused in Buddhi Yoga, in performing Buddhi Yoga, you need to have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, resolute intelligence. And it is said that if you don't have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Buddhayo Avyavasayinam, then your aim will be manifold, will be multi-branched. You will aim for satisfaction in various material things. So that is a continuation of that theme Krishna has said towards the end of 41st verse, which is being continued in 42nd and 43rd verse. For those who are avyavasayinam, who doesn't have this spiritual intelligence, who doesn't have single focused aim on progressing spiritually, they are bewildered by many things on the material platform, including the Vedic literature. Now this is the most surprising statement Krishna has made so far in the second chapter. Usually we talk about the authenticity, the authority, the regulation of the Vedic literature. But see what Krishna is saying here. Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavada rataha pardha nanyad astiti vadinaha. Men of small knowledge are attached to the flowery words of the Vedas. That means it is a kind of negative statement. There are many sections in the Vedas which are called Karma Kanda. So that is what Krishna is referring to here. One should not misunderstand that all the Vedic literature have only flowery statements which attract men of small knowledge. Pravadanti avipaschitaha. Avipaschitaha means, vipaschita means men with good fund of knowledge. Avipaschitaha means men with poor fund of knowledge. So the flowery words of the Vedas, which are in the Karma Kanda portions, if you see the Vedic literature, it has different sections. There is Karma Kanda section, there is Gnana Kanda section, there is Upasana Kanda section. Karma Kanda section predominantly contains various ritualistic performances to elevate our material status of life, either in this life or in the next life, which promise heavenly happiness. If you do this nicely, you will get this. If you do this nicely, you will get that. Like some of the examples here Prabhupada is quoting. Jyotishtoma sacrifices. If you perform the Jyotishtoma sacrifice properly, you will get elevation to the heavenly planets. Heavenly planets means much higher sense of enjoyment. In this planet, if we are eating in a steel plate or a porcelain plate, in the heavenly planet you will eat in the golden plate. So obviously even in this planet you have varied level of sense gratification between different sections of society, different countries, different communities. Similarly, heavenly planet is a completely different, higher sense of sense gratification. And their duration of life is also much higher. It is said that one day in heavenly planet is like 6 months on this earthly planet. Similarly, one night in heavenly planets is another 6 months on earthly planets. So 1 year in our duration on earth is 124 hours for them. So when we celebrated Vaikuntha Ekadasi, that was the starting of the day for the demigods in the heavenly planets. And when they finished the day, we would have finished one complete year. And their next day starts again with the next Vaikuntha Ekadasi. And they start off the day by performing Mangala Arati to the Lord. So that is why Vaikuntha Ekadasi is the Mangala Arati period for the demigods. Therefore it becomes very auspicious. But in heavenly planets, of course there are devotees. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. One who gains mode of goodness, he goes to heavenly planets. But not necessarily one is a pure devotee. One has the tendency to enjoy the senses, even in heavenly planets. And many people who do this ritualistic performances, they want to go there with that sense of enjoyment. Even in, not necessarily only in Vedic literature, even in other scriptures. For example, the people who justify suicide bombing in the name of jihad. Jihad actually means winning over evil within ourselves. Getting over our internal struggle and go back to Godhead. That is what is jihad. But that is wrongly interpreted as killing anyone who doesn't have the faith. And then they say that one who does that, one who gives up life for God, for propagating his faith, he will attain the heaven, eternal heaven, where he will enjoy eternally with virgins, like 72 virgin girls or something like that. So these are all pushpitam vacham, present in every scripture, in some sections of the scripture, of course. And men with poor fund of knowledge, they get attracted. Why? Why they are said to be having small knowledge, men of small knowledge, abhipaschitaha, not very learned? Because anywhere you go in this material universe, you have to return back. Kshine punye matya lokam vishanti. Krishna says in the 9th chapter. Even if you perform these ritualistic sacrifices, do good things, elevate your consciousness to mode of goodness, you go to heavenly planets. It is just like you are earning good merit, good income and savings to go to a resort on the weekend. But when you spend your saving completely at the resort, you have to come back again, start earning. So heavenly planet is not forever. And that is the understanding we get in our scriptures. Unlike other scriptures, which say that you will go to heaven forever. Which is not true. You have to come back. And anywhere you are in the material world, it is like considered as a prison house. And going to heavenly planets is like, in the prison house, you are given a better facility prison. A better facility cell. Like a big influential person going to jail, he will get a better facility. He will probably get newspaper every day. He will probably get air conditioning. But that doesn't mean that he is out of the jail. he is still within the jail. So heavenly planets are very much within this material universe. So Krishna says one should not be allured by these flowery words of the Vedas, which only promise you elevation to the heavenly planets, but eventually you have to come back. What is the use? And the verse is, when you get used to all this, you become blind to spiritual reality. Just like a person, you make him comfortable in the prison house, he will obviously want to be there. He will forget about that there is a reality outside the prison house. There is no suffering there. You can be free, you can be a good citizen, you can do so many things. He will forget in that intoxication of enjoying in the prison house itself. That is why in the Isopanishad, it is said, Andham tamaha pravishanti ye asambhutim upasate. Sambhuti means the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, Krishna. Asambhuti means all the demigods. Why asambhuti? Why temporary? Why unreal? Because the demigods have material bodies. Just like you and me, we have material bodies. The demigods also have material bodies. That means they are temporary. The moment you accept something material, it is temporary. And by worshipping demigods, ye asambhutim upasate, what will happen? Andham tamaha pravishanti. You will stay in darkness itself. This material universe is compared to like darkness. Asatoma sadgama, tamasoma jyotirgama. The Vedic injunctions say that from darkness one has to endeavor to go to light. You have to go past this material existence, material universe, and go to the effulgent spiritual planets, Vaikuntha planets, where the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees exist in all bliss, knowledge, and eternality. So men who are of higher intelligence, they take to that path, not getting bewildered by these flowery words of the Vedas or flowery words of mundane education, which is promising a higher and higher levels of material sense gratification without any view of spiritual reality. If you see the modern education, they completely reject, they completely put aside the spiritual quotient. Any modern textbook. Of course, there is a sense of morality on the basic principles. But who we are we a spirit soul? Are we this bunch of chemicals? Are we this just the body? If we are spirit soul, what is our duty in life? What is our purpose in life? This kind of knowledge is not encouraged anywhere. Even the biggest universities in the world, they propagate education only for how to take care of the body in a much more sophisticated way. More and more discoveries, more and more inventions, all on the material platform. Of course, they are making progress in terms of technology. But if it is not used to also progress spiritually, after all, there is not much difference that they are making. Because eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these four things, even if you don't train, don't make it better, they always exist. Human being always existed and tried to satisfy these four propensities even earlier. But by inventing newer technologies, it is not that his level of indulgence changed. He was always trying to engage on the material platform in happier and happier ways that he could. So the point is, one should not be misguided by these flowery words of the Vedic literature. And one who misleads, they are called Vedavada Rataha. Vedavada Rataha means, here it is translated as supposed followers of the Vedas. That means they are not the actual followers of the Vedas. Because if you actually follow the Veda, what does Krishna say in the 15th chapter? Who can say this? What is the purpose of the Vedas?
Vedaischa sarvai ahameva vedya.
Very nice. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyaha. Of all the Vedas, I am to be known. A right follower of the Veda, a right gnani, will come to that conclusion. Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan mam prapadyate. To surrender unto Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Vedavadarata, what they say? They get attached to these flowery words of the Vedas. And they say that there is nothing beyond this. Kamatmanah swargapara, janma karma falapradam, kriya visesha, pompous ceremonies, bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati, enjoying the senses. And they say that there is nothing beyond this. Unfortunately, because of misleading innocent people, they are facing darkest regions of existence, according to Isopanishad. Tato bhuya ivate tamo yau vidyayam rataha. Similar word is used in Isopanishad. Here, Krishna uses the word Vedavada rataha. Isopanishad uses the word Vidyayam rataha. In the name of Vidya, if one propagates wrong information, misleads people into darkness, makes them stay on the material platform in the name of spirituality, they will enter into even more darker places because of taking the mantle of an educator and leading them wrongly. It's a stern warning given in the Isopanishad. So if this is mentioned in the Vedic literature, if it is not very intelligent path, then why it should be mentioned in the Vedic literature in the first place? After all, we are saying the Vedas have to be respected, have to be followed. And Krishna is saying here, these are the flowery words, don't get misguided. You are supposed to do Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, surrender to the Lord. Transcend the Karma Kanda, Gnana Kanda, and go to Upasana Kanda. Transcend the modes of demigod worship and come to my worship. And then why is it all mentioned in the Vedic literature? That's an important question to ask. When Vyasadeva compiled the Vedic literature, he was despondent. He was feeling unhappy. And he didn't know why he was feeling unhappy. And coincidentally, at that time, his guru, his spiritual master, made appearance, Narada Muni. And Vyasadeva offered his obeisances. And he submitted himself to Narada. And he said, "My dear spiritual master, I don't know why I am despondent. I am unhappy. Even though I compiled and organized the whole Vedic literature, I still feel incompleteness in my heart. And I don't know why. And you should help me out. You are my spiritual master. You know why I am unhappy." And Narada Muni, he immediately starts chastising Vyasadeva. Very strong words. He says, "What you have done is abominable. Jugupsitam dharma krute anushasito svabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha." You have done a great mistake. You have transgressed. Mahan vyatikramaha. And what you gave to the people in the Karmakanda portions, they think that that is what it is. There is nothing beyond it. The purpose why Vyasadeva had given is, what we should understand is, there are different kinds of people in this material world. Broadly, 3 kinds. People in mode of goodness, people in mode of passion, people in mode of ignorance. People in mode of ignorance and passion, they are attached to body. They are attached to sense gratification. They cannot think spirituality. So if the Vedas contain only topics for those catered to mode of goodness, then these people in the lower modes, they reject the Vedas altogether. It is not for us. Let's give it up and go and enjoy the senses and perform all kinds of abominable activities. So to save people like this, Vyasadeva has divided the Vedic literature to appeal to all these classes of people. So if one is in mode of passion and ignorance, so Vyasadeva has dedicated some portions. Oh, if you want to indulge in this kind of sense gratification, or you want to drink this, you want to eat this, you want to enjoy sensual relation like this, then you do like this. You perform this ritual. You can get this. You get married, you can have this sensual relation with the opposite gender. You perform this animal sacrifice like this once in a month on an Amavasya day in front of Bhadrakali. You can enjoy that animal. Why? Because he wants everyone to be regulated by Vedas. Instead of this class of people rejecting the Vedas altogether and commit more and more adultery and become more and more degraded, he wanted them to at least accept the regulation of the Vedas, so that gradually, say for example, you accept the regulation of the Vedas, you get married in a dharmic way. Instead of enjoying like an animal, you get married. Instead of maintaining a slaughterhouse, you get an animal, hunt the animal, offer it in the sacrifice once in a month on Amavasya and you eat it. By doing this, what will happen? The person accepts the Vedas as regulation. He understands that only once in a month I have to do this. And for this ulterior one time, I have to do this. Gradually that sense of detachment comes. And by the strength of following the Vedic literature, he starts getting purified slowly and slowly. And gradually he moves from these lower stages, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, to mode of goodness. And then he will transcend even mode of goodness and come to this point of surrender to the Supreme Lord. Take the point of Krishna consciousness. That is the reason, in very short words, to summarize, why all this is mentioned in the Vedic literature, these flowery words, so that men of small knowledge can still be attached and regulated by the Vedas and not give it up and commit blasphemy. But Narada Muni chastised him. Because you have put all this information, people will think only that is there in the Vedic literature. They will not go to the higher path. And so he said, you should now give a literature which only glorifies the Supreme Lord, which only enunciates the path of spirituality in a pure way. The pure Krishna consciousness you should write. And that is when Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Purana, the foremost Purana, the pure Purana, the Amala Purana, which contains transcendental topics meant for people who want to go beyond this material jurisdiction. And then he became fully satisfied. And he writes in Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. If you want to completely please yourself, if you want to be pleased in your heart, in your spirit, you have to engage in an uninterrupted way, unmotivated way, devotional service unto the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they are raising us above this material atmosphere. And this is a secret not known even to the so-called Vedavada Rataha, who get bogged down by these apparent flowery words of the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is trying to raise the standard of Arjuna, who was bogged down by so-called ritualistic understanding. Oh, if I kill these people, these elders, I'll be incurring sinful reaction, I will rot in hell. I will not be able to enjoy the kingdom without the presence of these people. So this is all kind of material understanding. base level of understanding. Even though he is quoting scriptures, he is still on the flowery words of the Vedas. So that is the message Krishna is giving here, to go beyond this, to take to the pure principles presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, to take to devotional service, Krishna consciousness. I'll stop here. Any questions, comments on what we discussed today? Okay. Thank you.
What are like flower speaker. And also we discussed that Krishna is also a given Veda. So why Vyasa has to create all this basic Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda instead of Buddhi Yoga? There is no direct.
Yeah, I answered that.
Vedas will get entangled.
I answered that question, no? In the discourse itself. I'll briefly mention it again, and then we can have a call if you want. The reason he, instead of giving directly, is to cater to the lower section of people. People who are of lower mentality, who are in the modes of passion and ignorance. If you were to give them only the highest principles, because to worship Vishnu or Krishna, to follow spirituality, one needs to be in mode of goodness. So, if the Vedas contain only that, then the people of lower modes, they will reject the Vedas altogether.
Okay.
So, Vyasadeva has intelligently included this section so that this kind of people also get attracted to Vedic literature, so that at least they are regulated by the Vedas. At least they are under this jurisdiction of the Vedas. And gradually, by performing these rituals, they can actually get purified if they actually stick to these rituals. Slowly and gradually, they come to the realization, after going up and down in this material universe, after suffering, they will come to the realization, oh, at least I should now transcend this and go upper and upper. That is the idea. To save these people from becoming atheists and reject the Vedic literature, Vyasadeva has given all these things. That is in short.